Yay Networks.
Hi, Wild Ones. Welcome back to the Wild Rose podcast. I'm Whitney Rose.
And I'm Connie Daniels.
And it has been a minute, Connie Daniels.
Again, here we are.
Again. It is, these recaps have been so fun, but it's hard to squeeze them in with our schedules.
I know. Life's just been nuts. But we're here.
Yeah, but we're here. We didn't forget about it. We love you all. Thank you for your patience. But we are here today to talk about all 3 episodes of the reunion and everything that has kind of shaken out since then. But Connie, first, how are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm easing back into work mode. Part of the reason that it's been hard to get our schedules matched up. But real estate's going well. And we were able to sneak away and take a little trip to Tulum and see Rufus del Sol in concert. It was magical. It was so fun.
Photos looked insane. I had FOMO watching on Instagram.
We're gonna have to plan one to go together. That was my first time I'd been to a festival in Tulum. I guess they put on a lot of different shows down there, and it's really cool to be like out in the jungle. I think they do some of them on the beach, but a beach one would be fun.
Tulum is like retreat style, so I didn't realize there's a whole music scene as well.
Yeah. I heard there was something like 20,000 people there. I don't know if there were that many, but like there was a lot of people there. It was nuts. Yeah. So fun.
Question is, if I don't know if everyone who's kind of followed us on our entire podcasting journey, the very first episodes, we talked about how Connie was a lady of leisure, and she always had these like long, beautiful, insanely decorated nails. So the question is, now that you're back to work, are you a lady of leisure, or do you have working nails? Like, do you finally get the typing?
I have working nails. I know we're not doing video on this one, but everyone out there, my nails are so short, but I do make them look cute still. Not ever as cute as they used to be. I try, huh?
You get the typing issue now, right? Like how hard it is to type with nails?
It's so hard. It's definitely doable, and you have to reteach yourself. But do you know how good it felt to type with no nails?
Yeah, it gives me an orgasm. I love it.
It's the best feeling, especially if you've had long nails and you struggle through it. Oh, it gives you an orgasm.
It does. Like I love the feeling of being able to type freely.
Oh, it's the best. It is the best. So yes, I am full work mode. And if you see me, you can just know by the length of my nails.
Yep. Well, I'm glad you're doing well.
Well, thank you. How have you been? Crazy?
Just all over the place. I've been running around the United States, just doing some press and podcasting on soccer, the kids. I think everyone's seen that I have listed my house for sale. We bought a new home. We close on it here soon next week. And I mean, I always ask myself now, I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why do I chase chaos? Because my life is already so busy and I have so much going on between businesses, kids, the show, and like trying to maintain my relationships with friends too. Like, but I went and got a puppy for Christmas and bought a new house. I just thought it wasn't crazy enough. So let's just add to the stress. And I will tell you, trying to live in a staged house with a puppy is the hardest thing I have done in a while.
I'd say. Yeah, it's damn near impossible.
Yeah. But we have a potential offer on the table. So we're hopefully not going to have to do it very long. We move into our new house next week, so we're super excited.
That is so exciting.
Yeah.
So exciting. I think there's definitely, you find comfort in the chaos. It's programmed in you from the time you're little. So yeah, you'll probably just continue to do that as long as you can.
When it's too easy, I don't know what to do. So
right. Well, it's not like life really slows down when you're not filming.
No.
There's a million other things going on. So and then you add your own personal life stuff on top of it. It's a lot.
It is. It's a lot, but
it's all good stuff.
Yep.
All good stuff.
I'm grateful for all of it.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
but
That's
should we
awesome.
dive into the reunion?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes.
I
Let's
mean,
get
is there
into
really anything to talk about besides what everyone else is talking about?
it. Well,
You know
you
what I'm talking?
mean,
Yeah.
well, yeah, most of reunion was about Monica, as everyone knows. Um, she was a big character in this season and blew it up in the end. And so there's a lot to talk about and digest there. Um,
I think you just said it perfectly though. She was a big character.
she sure was. She was.
Not a real person.
Yeah, is what we found out. And Andy dives right in to Monica. First of all, they have a little fight still about Lisa's ring, which I swear to God, if I hear about that ring again, I'm gonna die. But they hashed it out again, the ring. But then they get into Monica and how she emailed casting. And she was kind of looking at all of you like, yeah, Andy asked her how she got on the show. And she's like, I emailed casting like everyone else, but you guys were like, that's not how we got on the show. Like, it came through Lisa originally and everyone kind of referred to each other. But she's kind of looking at you all like, duh, but all of you had a totally different,
Yeah, we were
experience.
all like found in one way or
Mhm.
another. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
I mean,
So what were
crazy.
you
Yeah, so when she said that, like when she just openly like says that she emailed casting was like, "You need me," and I don't remember exactly
and
what
not,
it was, but she
not
lied
only
in it.
yeah, no, she said, not only do you need me, she said that your rating sucks, your cast sucks. Um, you need like, I think something like you need a spicy Latino on the show to get like to save your show. And Andy's face was like, oh, so our show just sucked, and you were the one that was going to come in and save it.
Yeah, I
But
loved watching Andy's reaction to that.
yeah, yeah, it was a pretty bold statement,
But
but it was so funny.
I love that production came out with and showed the actual email to
Hmm.
just to show, like, the lies and, like, the level of kind of craziness there because, like, you can't come on a show and lie about every single thing. Like, even the way that
Right.
you were casted, you are lying about. Like, I loved that production just kinda
They're like, oh, here's the actual email.
here's the actual email. That was savage to me. I loved it.
Unless she emailed them later on or about and said your ratings suck, but that's not how she presented it.
Yeah,
So yeah, I love that they showed that too. It's like, okay, well, here's proof. And then also they get into how she worked for Jen.
yeah.
And she tries to say that she didn't even know Jen was on the show. Okay, you live in Utah. She knew Jen was on the show. Like, and she also, Heather had a recording of her when she was saying that Kim K was a fucking assistant, and now look at her. So that just shows she had an ulterior motive. Like, look, Kim K started out this way, and now look at how big she is. And then she, in the same breath, she's like, "Oh, I didn't know that Jen was even on the show." Like, come on,
Okay,
you.
first of all, how do you live in at this point, that was 2019?
Mm-hmm.
2019, how do you not know that someone's on a show? 1, there's cameras following them around. 2, you're doing their schedule as an assistant, you're seeing that they're filming for a show.
Right.
3, you have Instagram, bitch. Like, you
She
can't
lives on it.
yeah, so that's she sought Jen out for sure, and I remember
Mhm.
around that time, it kinda makes sense because Jen was forming her Shaw Squad.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm sure she just, like, saw that and saw the opportunity and boom.
Yep. No,
That was
for
pretty,
sure.
crazy that Heather had those voice recordings too.
I know. I don't think anyone was thought that
I
that was
didn't know she
coming.
had them. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So second lie right off the bat, you're
Yep.
like, "Okay, all right, what else?" Um, and there's plenty more that we'll get into, but, um, you and Lisa actually do talk about how you both had different perspectives on how she handled being there for you after our friend Sherry passed away. And and I think that, I mean, listening to both of you explain it, and I think it was just a perspective thing, and she thought that she was handling it okay. But then hearing yours, like the way you saw it, sounds like clearly she wasn't really being there for you as your friend. Um, but I think that actually leads into you talking to her about how hard it is when, you know, when she's confronted in an argument and she either, she'll just start crying and walk away, or um, she doesn't handle it. She won't handle it at all. She'll just ignore you after, or,
Yeah. See,
but
sorry, did I
yeah.
cut you off?
No,
Uh,
I just, you guys did talk about that, and you brought that up, and you asked her if she could do better at that and just let you know, like, hey, I need
mhm.
some time, or, and she did say, yeah, I can do that. So I'm curious if she actually will. So I'm glad it led to that, because that is the continual, like, that's the repetitive thing that she does, is when she
Yeah,
gets confronted, she
yeah.
can't really handle it. And so she
Well,
walks away.
it's like, even just watching that back, I'm like, "Come on, Whitney, stand up stronger for yourself," 1. And
Hmm.
2, it's like, it's not about being right or wrong or who did
Hmm.
something and who didn't. It's about basic level communication in a friendship or any relationship. It's
Hmm.
about knowing how to say "for" instead of "if." "I am sorry for," not "I'm
Hmm.
sorry if." Like,
Hmm.
does that make sense? And it's like, the what she didn't actually do anything, like, she's, like, getting caught
Right.
up on, she kept saying, "I'm not wrong, I'm not wrong, I'm not wrong." And I'm like, "I didn't say you were wrong. It's not about being wrong or right here. This is about a relationship and communicating through it." And the
Hmm.
problem is she doesn't afford people, like, if you're not thinking what she wants you to think, do what she wants you to do, and say what she wants you to say about her, she goes against, like, she thinks that you're not loyal, and she, like, turns against you, like, she takes it so, like an offense, instead of understanding that, like, part of being in a relationship is communicating when you have offended each other.
Right. And trying to see the other side, where
Yes.
I think she really struggles, like, putting herself in the other person's shoes. I don't know that she does that at all, that
I
I've really seen.
Yeah, and I'm
I
I'm
think.
looking back on it, and, like, because we were, like, in the past, when things like this would come up, we weren't friends, but we are
Mhm.
actually friends now,
Mhm.
and it's, like, hard because I'm looking back and I'm like, "No, I've always bended and folded." And I've
Mhm.
always, like, um what is it called when, like, sacrificed, or, like, you, like, I always sacrifice my needs just to make her happy, kind of a thing, and I'm
Mhm.
no longer willing to do that. Like, I don't wanna be in a relationship where I have to fold on my what I need from friends. I want
Mhm.
friends who I can listen to them and understand their needs and meet their needs and change things that really don't cost me that much, right? Like,
Right.
the way I communicate or how I show up, like, I wanna be that kind of friend, and I want friends that want to be that way for me.
Right. I think that that's fair. Like, you have to have that give and take on both sides,
Yes.
or else it just doesn't feel like, if it feels too one-sided, then, what is the point? It's
It
not
is,
a.
exactly, and so it's kind of like one of those things where it's like she just doesn't really seem to grasp that concept, which
Mhm.
is fine, so we'll see if she really follows through on it. So far, I've not seen that behavior at all, but, like,
Mhm.
I'm not saying I don't wanna be friends with Lisa, I'm just saying it's difficult, and it's, in our friendships, like, within our own group of friends that we have, you have different levels of, like, um I wanna say, like, intimacy within friendships, right? Like, you bring some people closer because you know that, like, it's reciprocal, and they
Mhm.
feed your soul, you feed them, and you understand each other, and even during hiccups, you can work through it. Then you have
Right.
some friends, it's like, that's my party friend. I don't really tell her what's going on in my life, but if I wanna have
Mhm.
a good time, I invite that person.
Right.
Or like if I have a problem that needs to be solved, I talk to this person. Like you just know where to put your friends, right? And like what type of
Right.
friends they are.
Yeah.
So
No,
for me,
true.
reunion, watching it back just reiterated, okay, I thought that this person was here, but I'm gonna put them back here. And that's
Mhm.
fine. It's not like someone it's not a wrong or right thing. It's just knowing
Right.
what to expect from people and knowing where to put them.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
I think you said it perfectly, and like when you said what to knowing what to expect, because your expectations that can ruin everything. So if you're like, you know what, I kind of thought that they were going to show up a little bit better for me because I feel like I'm doing that and they're not doing it, then you're like, oh, thanks for showing me that that's actually not where you're at. We'll just, kind
Just
of
prove it.
put
Yeah.
you, yeah, just pivot, take the expectation off, right?
Yeah, so that was hard to watch just because 'cause I'm like, "It's not about being right or wrong."
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really wasn't. It
Oh my
wasn't.
gosh, yeah.
But a lot of these fights, on Housewives and stuff, that it's
Yes.
all about who's right, who's wrong. So, um,
There always has
okay,
to be a
well,
winner.
uh, you were what?
I said, "It seems like there always has to be a winner.
Yeah, yeah.
We can't just all win together." The Dino
Oh,
show.
absolutely not. There would be nobody wants to see that. Okay, so that kind of wraps up most of the stuff that happened in episode 1. So episode 2 gets into Monica and her mom. They're still not talking. I thought it was kind of crazy that she shares that got uh when she was doing like her interviewing and everything to get on the show, she went and talked to her mom about it because didn't think she did a good job, and her mom wanted to pray, and she literally prayed that it would be her on the show and not Monica.
That was so hard to listen to Monica tell that story, like, geez, that's
I'm like, okay, first of all, at this point, she said so many lies. I could see her mom saying that for sure because
right.
we've seen her mom. But also, I was like, wow. Well,
See, this is the hard thing about Monica, because people are upset that that she's not coming back. People are upset by our reactions to her.
Mhm,
There's a lot going on online right now about it. But here's the thing, that it's exactly what you just said. When you have been betrayed and someone has openly lied to your face and created a situation that doesn't really exist. Like I don't know who Monica really is. Like
mhm,
I she lied to my face over and over and over again. So yeah, it's like it's natural to be like, "Well, is that story even real?" Because you're curated everything else. You've lied about
right,
everything else. Even your own name, you've lied about. Oh,
right.
there's 4 different names out there, right? So
Mhm,
it's like it's hard because you wanna have empathy for the situation. This is why
mhm,
it was hard for me to listen to it, because 'cause I'm like, if it was you telling the story, Lisa telling the story, Heather telling the story, I'd be like, "Oh my god, like, I am so sorry," you know?
mhm,
But because it was her telling the story, all trust has been broken, all of credibility's gone, so it's like, yeah, was your mom in on it too then? Or, do you
mhm,
really have this dynamic with your mom? Like, it's hard to
right.
believe her, and I hate
Totally.
for her. Like, I hate that for me, I hate that for her, I hate that for everyone.
Right. No, totally. And I was going to say before that is your nature to be empathetic with people in general, and I can see how, and honestly mine too. And so that's why when I was like, I can see your mom doing that and saying that, but honestly, and I want to believe people, but she's
Mhm.
just like lies after lies after lies. I'm like, is this more of you just ramping up the theatrics on it? I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it does.
it's
It's tough.
but I
But
just yeah, wow. Another
yeah,
big moment.
you're right. Um, but it did bring up, Andy brought up your mom that came to Bobby's birthday, and you did talk about how there was a period of time that you two were estranged and didn't talk for 16 years. And and you got emotional, and because you guys are doing so well now, and you're so grateful for the growth that you guys have had and how much closer you are now. And that was really beautiful to see. And I'm glad you shared that because I think it does show that you you clearly understand what it's like to have, parents that you're not talking with, or parents that you had to cut out of your life and create hard boundaries with too. And um, so it's not that you don't understand or don't want to be empathetic to Monica and what she's gone through in life. It's just like, yeah,
Yeah,
she's
that it
just,
is. Yeah, it's just hard because it's exactly what you said. And yeah, there were so many years where my mom and I like weren't talking. I mean, there's years that yeah, like even on birthdays and Christmases and stuff, like there was no communication and that was so hard. And
hmm
even when I would see my mom in some of those years, there was no connection. Like no, it's hard. It's very hard. So it's nice now that I'm able to put myself, and it goes back to like what we were talking about earlier about Lisa. Like I am now able through the work that I've done and and healing certain parts of me, I'm able to look at my mom from a different perspective. And I'm able
hmm
to see her as a human, as not just my mom. I'm
hmm
able to see her life and the path that she's had to endure and the path she's walking, and I understand that she too is doing the best she can. And
yeah.
like once I understood that, um I let down a lot of my own walls and
hmm
realized that a lot of it had to do with myself too. Like I'll take full accountability. I projected a lot of my childhood fears and experiences and like onto her. And
hmm
I realized that she is just trying her best just like me. And yep, so it's been beautiful in that way. And it's just nice that, I can text my mom now and she texts me back, or,
hmm
she's loved the show. Like that has been honestly the thing that has kind of brought us back together is her getting into the episodes
hmm
and texting
Which
me.
is something you did not expect
No, I was
whatsoever. You were nervous.
mortified for my mom to watch it. I did not want her to watch
Uh-huh.
it. I was like, ugh, I know. I was like scared she's gonna hate this, not support it, and it drive an even bigger wedge, right? So, but
Right.
no, it actually brought us together, and I just love when my mom calls me and is like, "How do you deal with X? Blah 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 blah. Blah. I want to jump through that screen and strangle her." Like,
I love it.
yeah, it's been
Oh,
really sweet, and yeah,
good.
it's been good.
Yeah. Well, that takes a lot of work and healing and self-awareness to get to that level. I think, to be able to see your parent as a person and not just like the parent and how they showed up or didn't show up in
Yeah.
your life. So that's beautiful.
And
Um,
for anyone that is, like, going through parent struggles right now, because I know we all do at some point in our life, right? What I've learned and experienced is that things can change.
mhm.
They don't have to be like that forever, but you have to be willing to start with yourself.
Yes. Yeah. And whether they change or not,
And
that part's not up to you. But if you can start with yourself and make the change in yourself, you may see that in them.
I'm not doing this to drop prism, but
Mhm.
our one of our taglines is, "When you heal yourself, you heal the world."
Mhm.
And
I
I
love that.
truly believe that because I've seen it within my own family, because I didn't start it, like, we all kinda started on our own timeline, but, like, when I started, I didn't realize that some of my siblings had started seeking out help and going to therapy and doing different treatments and stuff like that. So, like,
That's right.
I just thought I was out here on my own, living this, like, painful life by myself in darkness, right? But then
Uh-huh.
once I started talking about it, I realized my brother's talking about it, my sisters are talking about it, like, and then we're all healing together,
Yeah,
and that
I
we're
love that.
fixing a generational issue, and
Wow.
then that's like when you fix that and heal that, you break a cycle, it's no longer it's gone. So my kids, their kids will not experience what we experienced.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I love that. It's so beautiful because
it's been
otherwise it
so
would just
cool.
go on and on and on for more generations and affect more and
Yeah,
more
and, like
lives that yeah.
yeah, sorry, there's a little
No.
bit of lag,
Okay.
I kinda stepped
Is
on you.
there? Oh,
Yeah,
no,
so
you're good.
I have to, like, make sure to pause
Oh.
before it's just if you're talking, sorry.
I do that too. You're good.
Um, no, and, like, when my grandfather passed recently and, like, being around all my cousins and just, like not all of them, but some of them, like, we talked openly about what we're going through in life right now, and, like, it's just cool to see that, like, my generation is changing. Like,
Mm,
all my cousins are working on themselves too. Like,
that's so
it's
cool.
so it it just was validation that, like, I'm doing the right thing and I'm in the right place at the right time. Does that make sense? Like,
Mhm.
when
Absolutely.
God, the universe validates you, there's not a more peaceful feeling, I think.
Absolutely.
I just feel,
Yep.
oh, like, okay,
Oh,
that
I love that.
yeah.
I love that so much. Um, okay, I just want to barely touch on this one
Okay,
too
back
because
to
I was,
drama. Okay.
yeah, back to drama. Sorry, we have to break back into this. Um, so I have to touch on this. So I was kind of shocked to hear that Jack bounced on his mission, as Lisa said it too. He bounced on his mission, and she said it with a huge smile. And anyway, I thought that was kind of crazy. I was like, "Oh, okay." And that there's pictures of him in California and whatever. He's just living his life, having his, the best time. And Lisa seems to be happy about it. And so Jack's mission was still triggering for Heather, but that got you guys talking about how when she called you a hypocrite, and she did apologize for that
Mhm.
to you, which that was kind of nice to hear, I'm sure.
Oh, it was beautiful to hear.
Yeah.
You don't get those very often from my girl Heather.
No, no,
So,
no.
I loved that. I really appreciated that she apologized for that with no
Yeah,
conditions, like, that felt good.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised that Jack bounced on his mission and
Well, he
surprised
didn't though.
that. Oh, he didn't?
No,
Or is he
no,
just
Jack didn't bounce. So what
is he
happened,
waiting for a visa?
yeah, there was an issue with there was a hold up with his visa, so
Well,
he
it
had to,
sounded
like
like he quit on this mission, is
I
not
know,
doing
and I
it,
think
and is
Lisa made that joke to play into the rumors.
oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
she was
Okay,
just
well, I
messing
believed
around.
it.
I know, yeah, it's so many people have asked me about this. So, no, he's on his mission, he's actually in Colombia now. He
Oh,
just there was
okay,
an issue with
okay.
the visa, which Heather said is common, so
Yeah, yeah, I have a nephew that had the same thing, and he's about to actually finally get to Mexico, but he's been out on his mission in Utah for a couple months now, so
yeah, it was
it
the
does
same thing,
happen.
it's just in California.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay. Well, I wonder why she was so smiley about it. I was
Yeah,
like,
she was just
"Oh,
poking fun at the rumors.
gotcha. Okay." Well, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, so Mary shows up, and then, of course, she's buddy with Monica right off the bat, and she's, like, one of the only people that Mary smiles at and seems to like, and Heather says that she's glad she came back, but it was so funny to me, and, when Andy asked, "So, Mary, do you like any of these women? Are you friends with any of them? Who do you like?" And she sits there and she's like, "Well, I like Angie." After I think she just, if I remember correctly, said something kind of rude
Yeah,
to her.
yeah, and it
"Well,
wasn't
I
my
like
experience at
Angie."
all.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't my experience at all. That shocked me.
I know. I was like, "Wait, you just said something mean to her." I can't remember what it was, but I just remember thinking that was funny. I like Angie, I like Monica, obviously, and I like Meredith. But then this says nothing else, and Heather's face is like, "Excuse me, bitch, I just said I was happy you were back." And she doesn't even say she likes Heather. I just thought that was so Mary, so
It was
Mary.
very Mary. I love that Mary has the confidence to just say exactly what she's thinking.
Right, like how she shares how she opened the door on her son and his wife,
Yeah,
and and then she had to tell his wife later, "Don't make him feel better about himself than he is," like, because of what she heard her saying while they were apparently having sex in the other room. Oh my gosh. I
yeah,
was dying that she just shared that.
I
Like,
was yeah, it was awesome.
it was pretty awesome.
I was like, "Actually, that's great advice," because as a married woman to a male, I'm like, "Yeah, set the standard very low. Set it very low. Don't feed into his ego."
Right, because then when you do give him little bits, oh,
Yeah,
he'll
'cause then
light up.
you can build from there, but start at the bottom. Don't start at the top.
Then
'Cause
you'll just disappoint him
yes, then
later
you have
on.
this expectation for the rest of your marriage.
It's true. That's why I
It
never
was
cooked in
actually,
the
like,
beginning.
even though it was kinda off the wall,
Uh-huh.
it was great advice.
Yeah. No, totally. I always said, like, I never really cooked much in the beginning, but it wasn't I mean, I couldn't really cook very much, but, like, when I did cook, it was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you." Same thing with, like, building up their ego. If you don't say too much, but then you do say something, they're like, "Wow, thank you." I mean, it goes both ways, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty funny. But I do have to touch on, like, how Mary in her merry ways goes off on this far-fetched, huge accusation about you being racist that I feel like you handled very, very well. Um,
Thank
it was
you.
just it was very interesting to me to hear, she starts talking about Mormonism, how, that's where she's kind of getting these feelings from. Is it because you were Mormon and because of all of the, they didn't used to accept Black people into the religion, and they had this whole idea, if, you have black skin, then there's a different heaven for you. And she goes into that a little bit, and how if you came from that, you must be racist, but only you, which was really kind of funny because there were, Lisa's Mormon, Heather was Mormon. Um, who else? Anybody else? I don't
No,
know.
just
But
Monica.
just oh,
Monica.
Monica, and Monica used to be too. So it's like, okay, but she's just accusing you and says that's the reason. And you did clear it up too, like you wanted to know, okay, that's fine. You can feel however you want to feel. That's your feelings. But did I ever do anything to you personally? And she said no. So, I mean, take that for what you will. I
Yeah.
think you definitely handled it well, but like, it just seems super far-fetched, like she was just reaching for something to not like you about.
Well, yeah, and that's, an easy thing to call I realize I said this on at the reunion. I do realize
Mhm,
my privilege. I know it. And
mhm,
I both honor it, I both respect it, and I know that I it's up to me of what I'm gonna do with that, right? Like how I
mhm,
treat people, how
absolutely.
I undo my unconscious biases, and like I'm very aware of that. I would say I'm conscious of it now, right? Like it's
Mhm,
not a subconscious thing. I'm consciously aware of it. So, but it's so hard to throw such slanderous accusations out there because those are things that could actually potentially really hurt me.
mhm,
But I'm glad that we cleared it up, and I'm glad that Mary, said no, and we were able to talk about that because, Mary and I, after reunion, oddly enough, made up because she like was seeking an apology from me, and I gave it to her.
mhm.
They never aired it, and we talked about that at reunion.
Oh,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
I don't know if it aired at reunion or not, but I remember telling Andy about that dinner that I had with Mary when she called me bobblehead that everyone loved. Mary
Mhm.
actually came back in, and we made up. So, like, the last time
Really?
I'd seen Mary, I thought we were good.
Yeah,
So coming into the reunion, and then she says that, I was like,
that
"Oh
threw
my."
you off?
Yeah, because 'cause I'm like, I thought that we made up, right? So,
Yeah.
it was good though because after the reunion, we really did because I think we each got what we needed from each other. Like, she got the apology for me
Mhm,
calling her a predator
mhm.
and, um,
Not a pornographer.
not a pornography.
No pornography.
Um,
That's right.
and she validated that I have not done or said anything to her to hurt her, other
Mhm,
than, something that was so unrelated to, um, the accusation she made. So, I it was good. In fact, we ran into Mary at the airport coming home from reunion, and she
mhm.
and I had another conversation, and we ended up going to Kathy Hilton's party together, Christmas party together, and me, her, and Angie, and it was amazing, and I got to see Mary in a different way, like, she invited us into her suite at the Four Seasons, and we had some hors d'oeuvres and cocktails and got ready together and arrived to the party. We even went to a gay bar after, like,
Uh-huh.
the gays loved it. They dropped dead when Mary walked in. It was so amazing, and I was just glad that that happened because, like, Mary unfortunately hasn't been able to, um, experience a lot of these things that the rest of us get to experience, right?
Mhm.
Because of her own choices, but it was seeing her out in LA, I just have, like, a new respect for her, and I know people they're so triggered by by Mary, but, like, there's more to her,
Well, I hope that
and I
we
really
get to
hope it
see more
comes
of that.
yeah,
I hope we get to see more of that for
but
sure, 'cause
I
I
hope that
wanna
we stay good, though, because it's hard when
yeah,
we're not good. It's really hard.
yeah. I can't wait to see hopefully we get to see a little bit more of this side of Mary. I'd love to see it because there are parts of her that are just such good TV. So I'd like to like her more and by seeing that side of her. So the episode 3 of the reunion goes into well, it was kind of crazy because everyone starts doing these impressions of each other, and I just am like, "What is going on?" Like, is that so awkward to have somebody do an impression of you right in front of you? Like, because I was kind of squirming. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like you're sitting right there, and they're being so rude to
Yeah, I
each other.
know. It's like, I guess we're all desensitized now.
You must
But
be.
yeah,
I probably got more uncomfortable than you.
it's not fun to be made fun of. Like, no one
No.
likes that, but I've been made fun of by these women for 4 years, and I
Hmm.
think that for me, it's just like, I guess I must be desensitized, and
Yeah, I think you are.
'cause
I think you might
yeah,
be.
I honestly was like,
Which is
"That's a really
probably a
bad
good thing.
impression," honestly.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. Um, okay, so the episode 3 dives into all about Bermuda and reality Fontees because we all want to know more about, more about what the hell really was going on. And like, they didn't really ever say who else was involved. She just said like there was how many, like 6 other people or something like that. I can't remember
Yeah,
the number she said, but what did you think when Monica pulls out the burn book?
world's biggest flop. I think that I don't know what she was thinking, honestly. I think she thought it was going to be this huge moment, this huge comeback moment, and she's gonna be the most iconic housewife ever. But it really was the biggest flop. Like, it didn't even land a little bit.
It didn't. It was like, okay, read the room, Monica. These
Yeah,
girls are like pissed off. Like they're gonna think you're all cute and like witty right now.
yeah, no, that
Like what?
is so, like, not the tone at all. Like,
Yeah, especially when it's all a lot of it, like it's all about you guys too, and like so hurtful. Like, how are you guys gonna be like going from feeling hurt to like laughing and thinking she's all cute about it?
yeah, so I think that
Yeah.
it's important for people maybe to understand, like, something that's not really out there, like, the perspective from, sitting in our seats is, like, reality Von Tease, yes, it was created to out Jen, and, Monica did admit that we were collateral damage, but
Mhm.
what people don't understand is that Tanisha, Monica's best friend who also ran the account, turned on Monica and gave us all of the screenshots of their conversations, gave us all of the behind the scenes information, things that they were going to post but maybe didn't, or things that they did post and showed the intention behind it. For
Mhm.
example, me with Angie Harrington on her 40th birthday, me and Heather went down to Mexico
Mhm.
and there wasn't one person of color. And they posted that, and their intention was to get people to hate us.
Oh my gosh,
Okay,
wow.
so I'm seeing the conversations that her and Tanisha are having about me and everyone.
Mhm.
So it's not just about the freaking account, it's about her intentions. And, like, she was crying to my face about her mom. I had empathy for her. Thought I was getting to know Monica, we were having a good time, but the whole time, the entire time that she was filming with me and getting to know me, she's talking shit about me behind my back and had intentions to hurt me. So
Mhm.
me personally, I can't speak on behalf. I think that's a shared sentiment amongst all of us. I know no one trusts her and feels the same way, but, like, me personally, that's when I decided to say no. Like, you
Mhm.
do not get a second chance because it's not even about Reality Von Teese for me. It's about Monica being a scam artist.
Right.
She's a con, and
Mm-hmm.
she conned us all. And that's where I was just like, you know what, Monica, like, I gave you the most grace. And I honestly, if she would have come in there and taken accountability and showed remorse and explained why she was okay with doing that, but then being kind to my face, like, I would
Mm-hmm.
have probably given her a smidgen of grace.
Right.
She didn't take accountability, she didn't explain anything, and
Mm-hmm.
she made it worse for herself. So, for me, it wasn't even just about the account, it was about everything else that maybe not everyone got to see, but the rest of us did, and, like, you can't do that to people.
Right.
Even though our show is based on drama and fighting, like, you have to have a level of respect for each other that you're not gonna do anything too damaging. There has to be some form of trust. There has to be.
Right.
And
Right.
even if it's at the smallest level, Monica doesn't have that threshold. She'll go
Right.
anywhere. She'll go below the belt, she'll go outside of the
Mm-hmm.
walls, like, she's scary, and that's what makes her dangerous.
Right. And you even see everyone sees this at the very, very end. I'm just going to say this part. There's a couple more things I want to touch on, but when Andy says, "Okay, Monica, like, do you have anything? Is there anything else you want to say?" And I felt like he was like giving her room to say, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And she's like sitting there and she's like, "No, I don't think so." He's like, "Really? You have nothing else to say?" She's like, "No." And I was just like, "Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Wow."
think
She
that
not remorseful whatsoever. Doesn't not at all.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's where she sealed her fate because
Mhm.
obviously the network's gonna want someone like Monica. She brought it. She brought the drama, she
She
brought the
did.
controversy. But, like, I'm just so proud of the network for doing the right thing too, because I think that's where she lost him, though.
Yeah. I think so too.
And
I
it
think
and
you're right.
somewhere between there and saying that the FBI asked her to drive around Jed's house and catch her driving drunk.
Yeah, wasn't that
You know,
something?
so somewhere between there.
Yes,
Or,
something.
hacking her security system, setting up a security system and watching the cameras.
Mhm.
Somewhere between there, the FBI, and not saying sorry or taking accountability, really, you know,
Sealed her fate
one of
and
those 3, maybe all 3
yeah,
combined.
yeah. I think it was probably a combination of all of it. You're right. Oh, yeah, and those were the things I wanted to talk about too, like, just touch on how, the security cameras and how crazy that act like, her saying the FBI told her to drive by Jen's house, like, okay.
Yeah, that's she lost me there too. I was like,
Yeah,
"Okay."
yeah, for sure. I think she lost a lot of people,
There's
but
something I learned, when I was doing, um, is it called Al-Anon?
oh, yeah, I think it is.
Classes with my dad.
Uh-huh,
So it's, like, for the family of addicts, and
mhm,
they talk a lot about the lies we tell ourselves.
uh-huh.
So it's giving me that. It's like the things we tell in ourselves in our head to make things okay. It's like, that it was giving me that vibe. I was like, "Wait, I've
I
heard
could
this
see
before."
that. I
I think
could
I
see
heard,
that.
oh, Al-Anon, yeah, the lies we tell ourselves. The lies that addicts
Um,
tell, they start to believe their own lies, and they
yeah,
justify what they're doing, right? So it's
100%. I can
yeah.
totally see how you got that. Oh my gosh. Okay, we do have to talk about Heather's black eye. Okay, I think everybody was shocked that it finally came out. The truth finally came out because it's been what, 3 years
Yeah.
that she's been covering for Jen, and she
Yeah,
finally
2 years?
the 2
Yeah.
years?
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, she just comes out and says that yeah, she did get the black eye from Jen, and I think everyone kind of thought that was the case anyway, for the most part.
I always say
Um,
that. I think I've said that on this podcast many times.
I think you probably have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
But
think that was a little shocking for everyone, especially when they go through all the different times that she was making up different things that could have happened, and even accusing like what some
producers,
producers being being involved in it and stuff like that. So she did seem very, I mean, she apologizes and everything, but that could have done a lot of damage. And I think didn't somebody even quit from production, I thought? I don't know, I could be wrong. I thought
Yeah,
I heard that a while back.
I can't really
Yeah.
publicly speak to that, but, like,
Yeah.
yeah, there were repercussions from her lies, but here's the thing, okay, everyone's hating Heather so hard right now. I'm getting trolled for supporting her and standing up for
Are
her.
you?
Yes, but here's the thing, is Heather, even though it took time,
Mhm.
Heather owned it and apologized. She
Mhm.
answered all of Andy's questions,
Mhm.
and she took accountability and apologized and explained why she lied, and, like, when you really take a step back, it's like, okay, as annoyed as I was in the d like, when it was happening, when all that chaos was going on, like,
Mhm.
there was a legal side to this too.
Right.
So, like, I think put yourself in Heather's shoes, what would you do, you know? And
Mhm.
yeah, she admitted that the way she handled it wasn't the best, but she apologized, and I I honor that because then you can move forward with accepting an apology and, like, knowing that someone's gonna change their behavior, you know?
Mhm. Yeah,
Where
you do have to
where
respect
Monica
that
didn't
she
do that, right? So,
right.
even though it took time, whatever, like, Heather finally she did the right thing,
Yeah.
and she had to sit in that hot seat like that. I would never wanna be in that situation, and she did it, like, she held her composure and did it,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
you
Like, as
gotta
proud of
hand it to
her.
her for that
Yeah,
because I'm sure that was really hard
yeah,
to do.
yep.
We
Yeah,
covered it all. So Monica will not be returning, and there's rumors of new women coming for next season. I'm excited to see what happens next season. But yeah, that's a wrap for season 4.
season 4, wow. What a crazy,
Crazy.
amazing season, though.
Right.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone for following the Wild Rose podcast. If you like these episodes, of course, share it with your friends, subscribe, and like. We have had so much fun filming the podcast and doing these housewife recaps. We are going to take just a little break, and we're going to give the podcast a, what should we say, like a facelift? I don't know. We're gonna just take a break though because I am headed into filming season 5 and moving, so we're gonna pause just for a minute. So make sure you share everything that you've listened to so far with your friends and family, and stay tuned for what's to come.
Love
But
it.
yeah, we love
Okay.
you all so much. And until we meet again, be you.
Stay wild.
Yay Networks.